morning, and welcome to another episode of ATI Pro Media. It is Tuesday, November 12th, and we've got the markets moving, not necessarily the direction we want, unless we're talking Bitcoin, but we got some more news about Brazilian planning progress, some more flash sales. I said good morning. Maybe I should have said buenos dias because we've got some more flash sales to Mexico. Soybean. Trump begins to build his cabinet. Brady and I are going to talk a little bit. What's that mean in our little sector of agriculture, right? Do we like the picks he's got there, and which way are they leaning? And anything else, right? Make sure to pop us a question if you got something to talk about. But with that, let's bring Brady in. Brady, quote us up on the markets.
Buenos dias, Connor B. Welcome to the show. Awesome.
I took 2 years of Spanish in high school, so I had to think. I'm like, it is Buenos dias. Right?
I love it. That's awesome. Well, let's go to the markets and see where these markets are at here this morning. Okay, corn is down a penny right now. D's corn down a penny, 4.29. Been all over the place on both sides here this morning, but no beans are down 7 to 8 cents. Actually, Jan beans 10.14 down 7.5. On the wheat side of things, wheat's down 5 cents on Chicago. KC wheat's down 9 cents. Continues a little bit of a slide, following the theme of yesterday. Over in the cattle markets, feeders are up 50 points. Fat cattle are up 10 points. Lean hogs got D's up $1.47 and Feb up 85 points. Looking over at energy, crude's bouncing back up 70 cents. Diesel up 2 to 3 cents. Nat gas up 2 to 3. The Dow at equities over at Wall Street. The Dow is down 17. The S&P is unchanged, and the NASDAQ is up 14.5. Bitcoin, though, up 300 points, 88,000 on Bitcoin. And there we are. That's kind of your snapshot of the markets here this morning as we go live.
Good deal. Maybe we should be hedging some soybeans with Bitcoin, but we'll see. It's been election time. The word tariff gets thrown out, I don't know, maybe 12 times a day with stuff I'm reading, right? But at the end of the day, we got to pay attention to the fundamentals. And I think the big fundamental is going to be the Brazil soybean picture right now, right? We'll be talking the safrinha corn crop and potential acres. But that South America, Brazil planning progress, it's on the front of my mind, Brady, and we've got some numbers there. Brazil soybean planting progress at 66%. We are right at the 5-year average. Let's pull up a chart just to show you what that looks like as soon as I can get it. We got a new
changed a lot here over the last month, hasn't it? We started off way behind and caught up in no time flat.
Yeah. And so here, look at that top right. We're at 66% last year. We were at 53. Last year, we were at 57%. That Mato Grosso region, 90% planted. And then here, another good chart, and just show to what you said. Look how fast we caught up, right? Back in September going into October, the story was how delayed we are and then how fast we can catch up. It's the same. We saw it in the United States, and we're seeing it in South America right now. And then I didn't have a weather chart, but I got to say, South America looks pretty wet. Weather looks pretty friendly. Looks like their soybean crop, it's going to go in on time, if not a little bit earlier by the time it's all said and done. But they're making very good progress. So long way to go, right? We could still see some weather scares. They still got to grow the crop. But I think the whole early planting progress, it's no longer a concern, Brady.
Yep. The narrative's always changing, right? And right now it's no risk on the board with that crop, but that can change going forward. So I don't know. You get a little dry stretch. Maybe we add a little premium back into the market. If you're a bull, I think that's what you're hoping for. But if you're, I don't know, it's been bearish here lately.
Definitely. Well, we have that. And then also when we're talking exports, we've got export inspections out at 10 a.m. today. We'll talk about that tomorrow more than likely. But remember, on soybean exports, we very much have a window of opportunity, right? We are in that window. We're seeing it. But that leads me to the next thing. We did have a corn flash sale. Pop that up again, Joe. And exporters had 110,000 metric tons corn delivery to Mexico during the 2024-25 marketing year. I wanted to save it for tomorrow's show because I do want to see those export inspection numbers before talking about it. But that's the story, is this corn market and how much we're above last year, the year before, right? We're in that 20 to 2021 level of corn exports. And so part of me says, I look at the corn price, I look at how much corn we have. exports were bound to tick up. But here's the hope again, if you're a bull, is that we continue to see those good exports. You sent me something interesting where it was looking at Brazil corn and just the discrepancy, right? Is we talk about that, the USDA versus CONAB, but shouldn't Brazil corn exports be a little bit higher than where they are? But
right. Yeah, it's why isn't Brazil more competitive? Why aren't they shipping more business out the door on the corn side of things? And was the crop really not as big as maybe CONAB or the USDA has been stating? So very interesting. Also interesting, why didn't the USDA adjust exports last Friday? That was kind of a big shocker to the market too. Why didn't they tick those up? I think a lot of the trade was looking for that, but nonetheless, the market's staying pretty resilient here on the corn side of things.
Yeah, definitely. I think maybe it was just a testament, just too early. You think, right? They're not. They just decided to punt. Maybe we hope to see a little bit export tick up in the December WASD, but time will tell there, right?
Right. Yeah. I quit outguessing what they're going to print and why they're going to print it. That's
Amen. I got one more chart for you. First corn planting progress in Brazil. They're right on pace. We don't talk. Right now the story is the soybean crop, because that first corn crop, it matters, but the one that we really pay attention to is that safrinha corn crop, right? Second corn crop. It's the one that's mainly exported. It's going to go in the ground after they harvest the soybeans. And so, the story is on the safrinha corn crop. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but if we see a late soybean planting in Brazil, that's going to affect the safrinha corn crop. We heard this story last year. We didn't have a late safrinha corn crop at all, and the way soybean planting progress is going, I don't think we'll see that as well. So now I think in terms of South America corn story, it's going to be a little bit more acres that we're going to debate here in the next few months, and then we get into March, April, May, we'll start looking at Brazil corn production.
Yep, definitely on the radar here.
But always important to see, to know when the Brazil, Argentina, right? When are they planting their crops? When are they harvesting it? We got to pay attention to it because it really presents opportunities, I think, for our marketing. So
yeah,
I was talking about that.
Yeah, those type of things can fall to the wayside a little bit when you got so much macro market noise with geopolitics, the politics, the war type stuff, and all these headline bonanzas that we get out there. And you kind of forget, hey, we got a crop growing down there on the southern hemisphere, and it's important to pay attention to what's going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with that, let's make sure. The other thing we have, let's flip it over to quick politics. We've got Trump. He begins to build his cabinet. And so main headlines I saw is, he assigned, I forgot his name, but Border Patrol. I saw Homeland Security. But I was going to focus on more ones that mattered to us in agriculture. And the first one I saw, I don't think it's officially been announced, but potential Secretary of Ag, remember this name, Glenn Thompson, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Everything I read about him, I think he's a great pick. He's got a history of he's been on the ag committee before. So, if that ends up coming to fruition, I think we can be happy. I like it. He, in terms of getting a farm bill passed, I think he knows enough, looking at like SNAP, working maybe across the aisle. I don't know. He seemed like a good pick when I first read it. Did you see anything about it?
I know nothing about that guy, but I'm going to go research and dig into it. I don't know. No.
Yeah.
I have to plead the fifth.
The other one I think we should be paying attention to is potential EPA administrator Lee Zeldin. Okay. Remember that name, because that if we see some type of headwinds, here's the hope is I think we really want to see some type of biodiesel rhetoric, right? That 45Z. That'd be a fantastic avenue. We're going to be, if you listen to ATI Pro Media on November 12th of 2023, I think I was probably saying the same thing. We want this biodiesel sustainable aviation fuel. It would be fantastic to have that avenue open up maybe in a big way, right? Especially when we start hearing tariffs and trade war. Man, that'd be a fantastic avenue, right? Let's get the used cooking oil out. If we're going to see tariffs, let's see some demand for soybeans. But we got to see it. And so I think, this Lee Zeldin, I don't know which way, where he's going to go with that. But
Mhm.
important things to keep in mind. So the things
Yeah.
I'm paying attention to.
I think those matter, Connor. I mean, clarity on what we're doing from a renewable energy standpoint with ethanol and your sustainable aviation fuel. That's huge, and adding some clarity there and increasing that domestic demand for both these crops, bean, corn crops, is a big thing. So definitely worthy of paying attention to.
Yeah, and so reminder that we still don't have a farm bill. I would be very surprised if we get one in 2024. Crazier things have happened, but right now I don't feel whatever they come with the farm bill. Right, we see potential changes to like the reference prices, things like that. I don't feel threatened by it. Right, I'm optimistic that we'll get a good farm bill, one that is beneficial to the U.S. farmer, and so that's my opinion right now.
Yeah. 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 The chair of the Senate Ag Committee, who's going to be the chair there, those are something else I'm watching, with that shakeup there too, and that impacting the farm bill and how things get negotiated too. So a lot of things getting decided here over the coming months that will impact us going forward. Maybe not immediately, but down the road, going to be huge to agriculture and you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk a little premium real quick. We got
Okay.
Tommy, RFD TV. He did a good one. He talked about a lot of things. I think he touched on a little bit of Bitcoin, anything like that. Him and Tony St. James. So a good premium. Make sure to tune in for that one. We'll keep pumping those out as well. Tommy will be working hard. And so, you want a topic you want us to talk about?
Well,
Pop us a comment.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you got something you want to hear, want to break down and deep dive, let us know.
Yeah. So, with that, what other headlines we got? You want to talk a little bit about the U.S. dollar?
The US dollar's been on fire, Tommy. It's been surging higher and worth paying attention to out there. Kind of, if as the dollar climbs higher, our US exports get more expensive to importing countries. So that's, not really on your side as a grain trader, grain producer. But that US dollar continues to climb higher. I've been watching the Fed watch rate decision for December to see if, what the sentiment is on rate changes.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a quarter point cut in there, but it's kind of backed off a little bit over the last couple weeks. We'll see what things how it all unfolds here, but gosh, that US dollar surges higher. The stock market continues to grind higher. Got the FOMO, fear of missing out trade in the stock market. It's back. Bitcoin, the meme stocks are going crazy. God, there's just some wild things out there with calling where the S&P. There was a headline that the guy calling for the S&P to be at 10,000 by 2030. So 6 years from now, S&P 4,000 points higher, which actually you break it down, it's, not out of line for what, the long-term history of gain like 11% a year. It's not out of line to predict it to be at that level in 6 years, but the markets are pretty wild, Connor.
Yeah, a lot of uncertainty going forward, right? I think that's what a Trump administration is going to bring, at least in the near term, right? We're going to see potential for some big changes. Especially I think some of them, might not directly affect agriculture, but they're going to, right? If we see tariffs, he's talked about putting tariffs on for a long time. I'm not one of those that says tariffs are ultimately just really going to hurt agriculture. I know on paper, if you're an economist, tariffs is a bad word. We got to keep in mind when we're talking ag exports to China, especially soybeans. It's not like they're exactly buying record numbers, right? We're at something. You take out 2018. What are we at, Brady? Like a 10, it might even be a 20-year low. I think I'll use 10-year to be safe. And so the demand's not exactly there, right? And so I think when I hear tariffs, I'm more worried about this corn exports to Mexico. That's an avenue I would see being disrupted more than China. But time will tell. We got a long way to go there.
Good point, Connor B. Good stuff.
So,
well,
with
got any
that,
comments to roll through out there? There we go. Luke's got a comment out there. We want to pull that one up. Is Trump's EPA pick somewhat friendly to ag chemistry? Oh, good question, Luke. That's interesting.
Luke, I tried to read about it. I didn't see, I don't know if I would right now use the word friendly, but definitely not anti-ag chemistry. I saw nothing like that. It was just, I didn't see, it wasn't like exactly he was super friendly, even agriculture in general. I think he was, I think he was a New York guy. And so, time will tell. I didn't see anything anti, though, I guess, would be my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a good, interesting angle to look at it that I don't always look at is, products out there for herbicides and fungicides and all that. And that gets so regulated. On the animal health front, vaccines and antibiotics for animals, it's been a long time since we've had a new vaccine on the animal health side of things. And can we pull, bring in some new ideas and new modes of action there? So that's regulations matter, but good stuff.
Right. Absolutely. Speaking of that, it's going to be weird to have Republicans trying to ban dicamba. Yeah. Grow the farm up. I've said it. Again, it's too early, but sometimes when I hear RFK speak on certain issues, I don't want to hit a hot button topic, but it's a little bit concerning when we talk about some of those things. I don't think, I don't know. I think it was probably a month ago, probably not even that long, probably 3 weeks ago, you and I were talking, and I saw a video on RFK, and he was talking about a lot of good things, but then some things that kind of concerned me. I don't know if we have that, I don't know how much of rain he's going to get, right? I've seen that Make America Healthy Again.
Yeah.
Let's see it. But yeah, interesting to see if Republicans are going to ban dicamba. Good comment there. Grow the farm up.
Good stuff there. Well, as we wrap up the show here, corn's climbing back to unchanged there, and looking over at feeders. Feeder cattle are up $1.20. Fat's up 67 cents, but feeders trying to post a little bid here on today's price. So I'm glad to see a little green on the board, Connor.
Yeah, let's see. I got we always ask for questions. I've got a question for anyone watching the replay, right? If you're sitting on some old crop, we've got 2025 crop, that thing we don't want to think about. Ask yourself this question. If you're bullish, why are you bullish? How bullish are you? What factors, right? If we have majority of our 24 crop is unprotected and that we still own it, right? Is that the position we want to be in? And if so, why, right? I'm not saying you're wrong or right, because I think this show, as much as anything, we've got a long way to go, right? It's a lot of uncertainty up ahead, but I want you to ask that question. Why are you bullish, right? And go from there.
Post it down below. Tell us why you're bullish. We want to talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Here we go. We got any other questions? No, not really. We'll go ahead and wrap it up. Any closing thoughts while I look for the close button, Brady?
Nope. I'm excited to see export inspections here later today. Yep. We got the crop progress out this afternoon, and we'll watch price action here today. Corn's knocking on that high from Friday. We'll see if it can take that out. If you're a bull, you want it to go take it out. But nonetheless, 430 D's corn, that's a lot better than where we were 3 months ago. Don't let it pass you up. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you, everyone.